Yes. It says Richard Hayes and Sam Krivda.
Okay.
Both are seniors. The rationale, well, it's an honor,
Yeah.
and it's a privilege to be represented by them. Maya Hayden went to national band in the fall, so that's kind of the precedent. This has never happened as long as I've been here. I think when Larry Lochtel was here, there were a couple times when people got to do that. The cost is $500. That was budgeted last year, along with all the people who made districts and regions and states. $110 is the registration, and $390 is allocated for housing, meals, and location transportation. I'll be the chaperone, and to save the school district lots of money, I am going to be a chaperone for the actual event, so everything will be covered except for my driving expenses. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll bring some kind of trinket back
Yeah.
for each one of you.
Afterwards, they could come and.
They will. They'll come and thank you profusely. I've got them trained.
That's wonderful, thank
All
you.
right, sure. Thank you.
So we'll have this on the agenda for the 26th voting meeting. The next field trip request is from the SCCLA, and we have Ms. Hoffman to present for the high school.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening. I am here to present students to go to the CCLA State Conference. This year it's going to be held in Lake Harmony. We've taken students, this is my third year here at Pennridge and my third year with FCCLA. And this would be the third year that students would be attending the conference, so that's my precedent. We have 47 members total for FCCLA this year. I've pretty much been following every year. We have 9 students that are interested in attending the conference. They attend the conference not just for leadership skills and public speaking skills. They present a project that they've been working on. So it's called a STAR event. So there's several different, I have students doing a life planning event, students creating a focus on children event. So they're setting something up with one of the local libraries to do reading for children in our elementary schools. So several different events that basically help them in their future and just kind of give them 21st century skills, but also that include FCS skills. So it is expensive, so students have been fundraising, and we're also trying to, I basically prepared them that they may have to pay and cover some of the costs themselves. So that may actually make my numbers dwindle. The conference is Wednesday, March 18th to Friday, March 20th. I would be the chaperone, and I think that is it. They would make up work. We would leave. We have a school bus that's hopefully going to take us, again, depending on how many students. Again, we have right now the 9. And we would leave probably about midday here and then be back before school's over, probably about 2 o'clock on Friday the 20th.
I saw on there that it says about something about a 6-person suite.
Yes, I have, technically right now I have 3 boys and 6 girls, so there's a 6-person suite, so if I register, there should be plenty available. It actually saves us a little bit of money. I also, if we do take our 3 boys, Pennsbury is the only other school district in our entire area. Most of the other schools are from middle, central, and western Pennsylvania. So Pennsbury has 1 single boy that's going, so we might have our 3 pair up with their, or match up with their 1 to try to save a little bit of money there for both schools.
And it says the students, they're raising all the money and then.
Yes, we've done a couple different fundraisers. We have another one, we're selling apparel for Pennridge School District apparel. We also have a night at Mike's on Street Road. One of my students that's in the club, his mom is the general manager there. So they thought it'd be a nice idea to do something. We'll get proceeds from the night. We have a couple other things, just trying to get as much money as possible to offset the cost for the students.
Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Can you put your mic on?
It turns off, so.
Sit somewhere else.
We'll have a motion at the next meeting.
All right, so a motion for both the overnight trips.
Okay. All right, so now the Kids Care successor contract.
I sent out the contract and the summary of changes, but the first thing I want to do is the Kids Care people, Charlie and Debbie Stowe, are here today, and they want to give a presentation about Kids Care. They've been here longer than I have. What year did Kids Care start?
Well, 1991.
Yeah, it's. I didn't even realize that they've been Pennridge that long, but they have a PowerPoint that I'm going to ask you to go around and take a look. You have a hard copy of the PowerPoint at your desk if you want to take it with you, but we'll go around here and then they can go. We'll give them the floor for a little bit to tell you what they've done. They've tried to do some different things. I think many of you have been aware of the outreach they have and trying actually to involve some of our kids who are not in Kids Care to give them some volunteer hours as well.
Can you see it
It's
pretty
okay?
well?
Okay. Hello, thank you for moving. I'm Debbie Stowe, President of Kids Care, and this is Charlie, CEO of Kids Care, who happens to be my husband. For those of you who don't know me, I've been in education for the past... sorry. For those of you who don't know me, I've been in education for the past 30 years. First as an administrator in higher education for the University of Connecticut and City University, and then I've been a teacher in English as a second language, K through 12, in New York, New Jersey, and in Connecticut, where we first lived. What I thought we would do is just give you an overview of what we do at Kids Care, tell you a little bit about our mission statement, our goals, and also show you a little bit about what we do at our different centers in Pennridge. So, go ahead. All right, so our first slide is students and staff having fun at Siler. This is one of our assistant instructors. She recently graduated college, and we're lucky, she's a double major in theater arts and early childhood education. Kristen is wearing a headdress or a hat celebrating the carnival, the carnival that goes on February in Brazil. We've been in Pennridge for 18 years. The program is in this particular school district, and we've worked together. We're very happy to be working with you, and we're always looking for new and different ways to improve our program. Soccer is just one of the sports we do. We believe exercise is very important as part of the program. We try to do exercise, 30 to 40 minutes of exercise each day with the children. As you know, exercise has proven to enhance learning as well as help with child obesity. Our mission statement, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. We were founded in 1991. We provide a safe, friendly environment for children. We offer rich learning and enrichment activities, and we try to make the activities age-appropriate and foster positive social relationships for all our children. About our teachers. All our teachers are licensed and have extensive K through 5 experience. We definitely go through an extensive interviewing process. They meet the DPW public welfare requirements, and they are required to take courses in first aid, fire safety, and also are required to have the child abuse, criminal history, and FBI fingerprint clearances. We also require that they take professional development courses annually. So again, we're registered even with an institute now where they can take additional courses online.
Yeah, basically, if we look at the most recent 10 years, back in 2006, 2007, we had about 370 students participating. And then in 2007, the sixth graders moved from the elementary level to the middle school level, so we lost about 50 students at that time. The year 2008 brought the housing bubble and other economic hurdles, and enrollment continued at slightly lower levels through the school year 2010-2011. And then 2011, things started to brighten and the economy was better. People had more confidence in spending their money, and enrollment has really continued to improve since that time, and we're back at the 370 level. If you take a look at our morning programs, the school where we have the fewest students is Bedminster with 15, and the school with the most is Seiler with about 25. But overall, there's, it's pretty common in terms of the usage. And in the afternoon, Guth has about 40 children every day, and the bottom of the range would be Grass with about 20 students every day. And I'll let Debbie take over again.
At each location, we have a kids' care information table. And on that table, we have a weekly newsletter, we have DPW information, and then we have a sign-in and sign-out sheet for mom or dad or the child's guardian, whoever happens to be picking up the child. And mom and dad, of course, or the guardian have to sign in and out every day. Okay, our weekly schedule includes arts and crafts, community awareness projects like writing letters to soldiers, the Sellersville Museum project, which you'll see shortly, cooking with kids. We do a lot of non-bake cooking ideas, dramatic arts. We have theater setups where they make puppets and they do dramatic play, exercise. The first 25 to 30 minutes are spent doing homework, and we will talk later about how we have the National Honor Society coming in and helping kids do homework. We have monthly themes that we set up, and the instructors usually do projects around the monthly themes. We have science adventures and STEM. We're doing STEM activities now at each of our sites. Snack time, of course. Supervised creative play, and then the Healthy Kids Club. Healthy Kids Club is basically, to give you an example, at Sellersville, our instructor there is a runner, and so she does walking, and the principal has allowed the kids to walk around the school, so they get, depending on how many laps they do, they get popsicles or whatever else for the laps they do around the school. So, okay, Kids Care at Guth. This is just one of our very highly devoted teams. The woman on the right, Catherine Noggle, is a superior instructor. She's been with us for over 10 years, and anyway, the principal has given her a couple of bulletin boards to just display all of the kids' care activities that she's done. What does Kids Care provide? Well, I'll give you a few moments to read this. Okay, games are ready when the children arrive. We definitely have our instructors prepare and have everything on the tables before the children arrive. Aims, these are the aims and objectives of the Kids Care programs. Obviously, we want to provide parents with a high-quality, reasonably affordable child care alternative. We provide activities that encourage children to develop new skills and interests, think critically, make decisions, and solve problems. To provide children with time to explore, we do all the areas, arts, sports, games, music, outside of the school day. We do provide some time for homework, especially for working parents. They do want homework done. And we do provide exercise for the kids they need to get their energy out. This is just a picture of enjoying a snack at Siler. Recent testimonials. What we do is every year we do send out an annual evaluation to parents. And in that evaluation we have both an objective questionnaire as well as a part for parents to write comments. I won't bother you by reading all of them to you, but just first two, as a single mom or mother working full-time, your services are much appreciated. Second one, kudos to your staff. Kids Care Pennridge is one of the most outstanding child care services that we've encountered. Every time that I walked into Sellersville Elementary to pick up my daughter, I found a fully engaged, energetic, and friendly staff. Thank you for taking care of my daughter and giving me the peace of mind needed in a family where both parents work. I know as a parent myself of three daughters, I think if you have a place where you know you can send your kids and they learn and they enjoy it and you feel comfortable, you know you can go to work and do your job comfortably. My fashionable t-shirt is my favorite craft. This was done at Siler. We have another phenomenal teacher there, Brenda Sanford. I can't speak more highly of Brenda. She puts her heart and soul into the job. She's always at the dollar store or Michael's buying something new for the kids to do. Enrichment programs. This is something new. This was initiated over the past 2 years. We worked very closely with Dr. Bavard. Thank you, Dr. Bavard, to introduce enrichment courses. And what we open these enrichment classes to all Pennridge students. So these programs are offered not only to Kids Care students, but to any of the students in Pennridge School. And we ran the following courses. Introduction to Spanish, which Dr. Bavard came to the graduation. We had Science Wizards, chess. Chess is a very popular course. And soccer. We also introduced the other courses, Art Studio, Introduction to Chinese, Guitar, Math in Motion, and Stretch and Grow. We didn't have enough of an attendance to run those courses, but we are going to try again. So we're very excited about these enrichment courses, and we plan on offering them again. This is an example of the enrichment class for soccer. Now this was offered at Diver, which is where we had the highest registration, but we had kids come from Sellersville and Guth and Siler. So yeah, I would go over and make sure that the kids came from the other schools and we took attendance and everything else. That worked out well. Another very exciting and new project is the project we just started with the National Honor Society. And we are working closely with the Pennridge National Honor Society to have students from the high school visit the 7 local elementary schools for 1 hour each week to help any students who request assistance with their homework. And each National Honor Society member selected one school to visit beginning in December. What we did was we just asked them to choose first choice, second choice for an elementary school. Most of them chose the elementary school in Pennridge that they had attended. And it's working out well, and the students who are going on a regular basis, I said I would write, we decided that with the faculty representatives of the NHS that we would write a letter saying that they have given community time or community service to our students. And this is also very good because our students are seeing that they like having a kid, another kid, an older kid tutor them. And it's a good role model for them to see that an older kid in the Pennridge School District is actually tutoring them, and they enjoy that. So it's working out quite well. This is just our office team, our 3 people in the office besides Charlie and myself, and 2 of them have been there over 20 years, and Jonathan, our IT person, has been there over 10 years. So we have a really great team, dedicated team. This is Deibler Elementary School. They're working on a project on, they were doing trees, fall trees, so they have their arm and their hands, and they're painting the tree. Scholarship students, we do give scholarships when a principal or administrator or guidance counselor calls and asks if a student, says that a student can't pay, we certainly will give a scholarship to a student. This is the three of our Kids Care Pennridge sites participated in the annual fundraising event at the Sellersville Museum. And this is when visitors vote on the tree that they think is decorated the nicest. And the funds that collected go to the Pennridge Fish Food Pantry. This year, Guth has participated in the tree decorating ceremony now for 10 years. It's a picture of Guth's tree. Seiler has done it for 7 years, and Sellersville for 5 years. Seiler, by the way, won 2nd place. The Seiler Kids Care tree came in 2nd place this year, so we're very excited about that. And last but not least, we have examples of STEM activities at our programs. STEM, obviously, stands for the science, technology, engineering, and math activities. And we're trying very hard, we're very excited about incorporating STEM activities into our programs at our different sites this year. So I attended a SACA conference, actually, at a local one in Pennsylvania, in Harrisburg, and met with some people about how we can incorporate more STEM activities into our after-school programs. And they were full of ideas, gave me lots of websites, and I got really excited about this. So these are some of the ideas and some of the activities that our Pennridge people have done so far. The life-size igloo made out of plastic was done by Brenda Sanford, who is now our instructor at Seiler. She did that when she was at Sellersville, and that's an example of engineering and math, as you can see. She also did the boat design with her kids recently. The glass bottle was done at West Rock Hill. So all these are science activities. You can go to the next. And examples of experiments that we are asking, or some of our instructors have done, and we shared with the other instructors, and they're going to do them too. I'm also planning on ordering a lot more science materials so our students can do more new magnifying glasses and new magnets to promote more math and science activities for the kids. This is our annual parent evaluation that goes out, the results of the evaluation. And these are the actual results. We don't rest on our laurels. We look at them very carefully. We look at the comments that each parent writes. And Charlie and I, whatever we can learn or do differently from the comments, we definitely do. We take everything very seriously. And last but not least, just a few more photos of our kids. These are girls with perler beads or fuse beads. They made 3-dimensional fuse beads. They made carousels. And this is a girl at Seiler who just made with 3-dimensional perler beads her space shuttle. She's all set to go to space, fly to space. Charlie?
Yes, and in terms of funding, in addition to providing a very valuable service for the families and the children, it also provides funding for the school district. Funding is generated in two ways. First of all, we rent space at the 7 elementary schools, and there's also a fee based upon enrollment. So as enrollment increases, then funding increases. And we'd like to say thank you very much, and if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer questions.
And more importantly, we really look forward to this relationship that we have with you. We really enjoy, from the bottom of my heart, our hearts, working with this school district. We love this school district. I'm saying that, I say it at the staff meeting every time to the Pennridge staff people. I just feel very close with this district, and they come up with such creative ideas that the staff that we have at Kids Care in this district, they just fascinate me. I can't tell you how dedicated the particular group of Kids Care instructors we have in Pennridge are. I mean that with all my heart. And we have samples of some of the things they've done, but I bring them home to my teenagers, and my teenagers are in awe when they think my twin teenage girls.
Sir, do you have a question?
I'm curious how many other districts Kids Care is involved in?
One of the
In
districts,
this state and outside the state.
well, one of the district, which is Pennsbury in southern Bucks County, and these are the two. But you're getting our full attention.
That's okay. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I had a question about the courses that you offer. So was this the first year that you had them? The second year?
The enrichment,
The
yes.
enrichment, right, Spanish and chess. And I was just wondering how long the courses run?
6 weeks.
6 weeks is just once a week for 6 weeks?
Yes.
And do you get many other students outside of the Kids Care?
Yes.
Chess, we had about 15 each time, and Spanish, we had about 20 students.
No, yeah, but she's asking, do we get students outside of Kids Care? Yes, I would say about 50% of them are Kids Care, and 50% of them are outside of Kids Care. So it's about 50-50.
And with some of them, like Spanish, you just repeat the same course each time? How many times a year does it run? Is it just?
One time.
Just once
Well,
a year?
no, not all of them. Spanish one time a year because she's taking graduate courses. We try to get the teachers in the school district to
That's
teach
hard, yeah.
because they're, they know the kids and we trust them. And it's nice, obviously, if the principal can ask someone in the school to do it. And they're a known entity. The chess teacher does it every fall and every spring so far. So the chess teacher, has done it both fall and spring. The Spanish teacher can do it once a year because of her schedule.
I was just curious, but I guess it hasn't been long enough that they would want to go, have the next level of something. It's all different kids.
I think it might. Spanish was so popular. I'm assuming, Dr. Rudder, I'm thinking maybe we can run a Spanish 1 and 2. Carol Rudder?
So when she's done with her grad stuff, they can probably look at it at their level. It'd be nice to grow.
Yeah, wasn't there something before that wasn't kind of doing Spanish?
They use it because they stopped.
Right, they had trouble finding teachers as well.
I actually interviewed the woman for that job, but she did a more academic one, and I thought it would be better to do one that would, for younger kids at least, that would teach them songs. And Carol Rudder had, the way she was going to approach it, I thought was wonderful. Through songs and numbers and
Right, so
holidays.
really just kind of growing their interest in it, not necessarily that they're going to be speaking. Yeah. Central Bucks has an after-school Spanish program, but that's run. It's different. It's much more academic. But I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, yeah, I learned.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
say thank you for that wonderful presentation. I've been here before when we went to renew the, that's the.
No, we're happy to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really great to see everything that you're doing in the schools.
Thank you.
So I guess, do any board members have questions about the contract?
I outlined for you all the changes that were there. Some of the changes in here you'll see again when we get to the policy review committee, because since the state has adopted new laws about child clearances, all those sorts of things, it affects everybody. It's not going to affect just the kids care program. It's going to affect our own employees and our own volunteers. But Rob put all those in there. The fee structure is, we try to be careful with that as far as the rental, because obviously we don't want the cost for our own kids, our own parents to go up. So I think we struck a balance with this, and Rob has reviewed everything. So
Yeah, just
I don't know
one
if you have questions.
comment on that. 2 years ago, we had was this on? The 0% price increase. And last year, it was around a 2% price increase. And this year, we'll try to limit it. I mean, we understand the local economy and, we understand the environment. So we try to have moderate increases.
Any questions? Right, so will this be a motion
Correct.
on our next meeting?
Correct, that's it. As I said, the solicitor's already reviewed all this and have been in touch with their attorney as well to make sure everything's acceptable. So this will be on the calendar, or the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay. All right, thank you so much.
Okay, take care.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so the next item is the school district calendar.
My favorite, thank you. The calendar proposal for 2000.
Dr. Babar, did you, if they're leaving us, you could take questions, if anybody has questions about this before they leave?
Will the contract be public information, after it's signed?
Correct.
Does that include a copy of the contract that they have the parents sign? I'm interested in how much they charge per week.
I don't have that, but I can ask them for that.
Well,
All we get is what the contract is.
Yeah, is this turned on?
Yeah.
I think it's still.
Yeah, I can tell you what we charge per week.
I just need a ballpark figure.
Yeah, well, ballpark, it's about $190 for the morning only, and about $230 for the afternoon only, and about $330 for the month. Well, combination of morning and afternoon for the month. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You turn that off?
Could you repeat that again? He didn't quite get that. 3:30?
What was the third?
Sure. Yeah, the morning only is about $190 per month.
Per month, 130 per month, and then the third number?
The third number is around $330 for both morning and afternoon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Now the calendar. One of my
Thank you.
favorites. For 2015-16, what you will notice in the draft is, first of all, the standard has been when Labor Day is either the first, second, or third, we start after Labor Day, and if Labor Day is the 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th, we start before. This year, Labor Day is going to be the 7th, so the students are starting the week before. We are continuing with the snow built-in days of just doing 2. This current calendar has 2 built-in snow days during the year. A lot of that is based on parent requests that, they at least can have some of the longer weekends somewhat sacred. And we also have 3 days built at the end of the year so that if we go beyond, they're already part of the calendar, so parents and staff also have a heads up on that. This calendar is in cooperation with the Palisades and also Quakertown, and we are almost on sync together. Quakertown is a little bit different because they have to have a day in April this year because it's a presidential in 2016. They use their buildings for voting, so that's one that we're not in sync. However, we have made sure that all the days that Pennridge School is in session, the VOTEC, even if it's just Pennridge, is going to, on the one day, is going to make sure the VOTEC is open for our students. That's the whole purpose of trying to coordinate it, is because if the rule has always been when 2 of the 3 are in, the VOTEC is open, and if you're the third one that's out, you have to send a bus and loop around and pick up everybody. So our goal is to coordinate it so we don't have that extra expense. What is new in this is a proposal based on the open house, and it doesn't actually affect students. What it affects is the first 3 days prior to the start of the school year for teachers on August 24th, 25th, and 26th. In the past, we've had those in-service days on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now that we're going to try one more time for one more year, having a meet the teacher night. And what we found this past year was those schools that had it on Thursday night for parents and for staff that wanted to go make a long weekend, it sort of precluded that by having them there. So working with the teachers, we're going to try having the in-service days Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It really doesn't matter because the other 2 days we use for brand new teachers, and it wouldn't matter that I bring them in on a Monday and a Friday or a Thursday and Friday. So it's actually, I'll get some continuity out of that.
So you're saying that the open house is going to be Wednesday, August 26th?
They're going to be Monday night, 24th, Tuesday night, and Wednesday. They're going to make sure, they try to stagger them so we don't have conflicts. I know the middle schools are doing it as well, and the elementary. So elementary, some of them have 2. They have like a primary grade for parents and then an upper grade. So we're going to try the same thing again. One of the concerns that parents had is they said, you know, we wish we would have known earlier. So we're going to make sure that everybody knows. I think the principals were already going to try to alert them starting once the calendar is finished and adopted by the board, letting them know early and then letting them know that, again, before the kids go away for school. So it makes a good night. They actually meet the teachers as opposed to trying to have a mini parent conference when we usually have it at the end of September. So we're going to try it one more year. Dr. Radigan wants to get feedback from the parents, wants to get feedback from the teachers, and then make a decision before we try it for the 3rd year. So we'll give it 2 years and make sure we give everybody full advance warning. But that's the real big change in this calendar.
Yeah, I was curious, what was the reaction from this past year, having it before school started?
Well, the people that were there obviously liked it because they were able to be there. The biggest complaint we had was middle school parents. It was a Thursday night and it was interfering with Labor Day weekend. Some of them had already had plans to go away for a long weekend. So overall, if they look at all schools together, more were in favor of having it before school started.
And notice.
Correct.
It is in the notice.
Right, because I think that people weren't told until June, or it was June, it was late, and if you already have your plans, then you can't change it. So, I think because it was new, some people, because they weren't even thinking about school, they
Correct.
missed it.
And that's all us. The principals have tried an idea, and it didn't really start having the conversation until April and May. So this year, we'll try to do it right, and we'll see what the parents think. But they'll get plenty of notices.
And this year it doesn't even interfere with Labor Day weekend because Labor Day is late and we're starting school early. But if we did it again in the 3rd year, it may do that, and we would make sure we did it Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night so we don't interfere with that long holiday weekend.
Keep a pattern, a predictable pattern.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Labor Day is going to be late over the next couple of years.
For the next 3 years. There are school districts that actually are starting before Labor Day regardless, but they have the luxury of having their elementary schools air conditioned. That would be the only thing that really would stop us. So if all your schools are air conditioned, they're starting early for PSSA purposes, all those kind of things, but we are not air conditioned.
Yeah, well, I think it's something to talk about, because you're either going in August or June,
Correct.
so either one is always, can be hot, so. And I think students are more productive in August than they are in June.
Yeah, I believe we're going to have that conversation.
Yeah, so that's, but since it's Labor Day's late for the next few years, so, yeah. All right, does anybody have any questions or comments about the calendar? So this will be,
This will be on the agenda for the 26th.
okay, and then the information will be released to everybody,
As
so.
soon as you adopt it, and or we actually get it out the next day or the day after that, because we want to give everybody as much notice as possible so they can plan their lives.
Yes.
Why can't they put up the proposed budget?
And the built-in snow days at the end seem to be working
Correct,
well, yeah.
correct.
Okay. All right, the last item on the agenda is sister schooling.
This year was the first pilot year, and Dr. Radigan brought this concept to us from the Chamonix. Council Rock also does this, and there was one other school district that had shared with me about the sister schooling activity that we have done this year. We are recommending at this point that we go full bore into this. We've gone through it this year. I think we worked through some of the snags as far as making sure there's, parents are fully aware of this. It was a new program. We did our very best, and I don't know if any of you got any complaints, but there were very few that actually didn't get resolved for us, and it's going to happen. But it's the cost avoidance. I can tell you for this year, and if we're not looking to save money, we're trying to look at taking money during the school year to make it work. We actually avoided the cost of adding 2 teachers if we would have done this the way we normally did that, at $86,270 each, which is the whole package, 2 over-enrollment aides for a full year, and 1 over-enrollment aide that would have been 0.8 years. So the total savings was $257,000, and then you have to subtract out, transportation costs. So even estimating transportation costs, much higher than they actually will be at $35,000. We still believe we avoided the cost of about $222,000. That's a big chunk.
That was 2014, 2013.
That was this year.
Oh, this year.
That's this year.
Wow.
We just did it for a pilot year. What Dr. Radigan said, let's see, how it works, and let's see what kind of cost avoidance we can get there. But it's a great idea, and we're just now going to recommend that this be the standard practice for Pennridge School District. That's a lot of money.
Weren't you anticipating like 80,000 or something when you first proposed this? Wasn't it?
I anticipated saving the cost of 8 teacher and 2 over-enrollment aides, which we took out of the budget, and we exceeded that.
Wow.
And if new students enroll tomorrow, we could still save money because of not having to add over enrollment aides because we will sister school them to a different school. So that's the number we're at
And they
at
are
the
still
current time.
enrolled. We still have kids that move in.
And do they come back? Do they come back like the next year?
Yes, they're guaranteed to go back to their home school the following year.
Okay.
And if they have a sibling, we give the parents the option of sending both children or just the one who there's no room for that child.
And it goes both ways on that. There have been parents that said keep them together, and one said no, I'd rather mine is going to be in this grade, bond with their classmates. So it
The
goes
only
both ways.
people that really are upset typically are the people that are registering late and finding out, well, gee, I moved into this school and this is where I thought I was going to go. But we're certainly not hearing any complaints from parents who have children already in the school, because remember what they were telling us. They didn't care about the over-enrollment aides. The classes were just seeming too big and they kept having more and more people in the room.
And we went through the whole proposal. When you put an over-enrollment aide in, and then they lose that one student, the parents say, well, what's the difference between 30 and 31? Why are you taking it away? What's the difference between 30 and 29? So we avoid that whole problem. And we're now putting another adult in a crowded classroom. This way we're capping it, whatever class size that you establish, we have our current ones, we're going to maintain it. The whole goal was to protect class size, so you didn't have to say, well, if they're going to grow, let's just make it bigger. And I think that's a solution you want to avoid as long as possible.
I thought this was a great idea, Dr. McGuire.
Well, it's Dr. Radigan, so we'll give her a pat on
I
the
think that
back.
was a great idea. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rivard, for all your hard work on
I am
this.
the implementer.
How many students were sent to other schools this year so far?
I have a list of those that went and came back. 'Cause remember, some of them, if a opportunity, after they have been moved, comes up, they move back, but some of them don't. Some of them, because they find out that where their child is going and we're busing, they actually work closer to them. They have a mom or dad that lives there. So this year, the number of kids that were involved with it are 27, and of the 27, 6 went back, so it's 21. And some of those are siblings that would not have had to go. So some of them elected to stay with, it was their choice that they keep the siblings together. So We had looked at somewhere around 15, 16. So if I take off the siblings, we're probably within the ballpark.
Okay, so do we need to vote
Yes,
on this?
yes,
Okay.
because it's a new program. So we voted on it as a pilot, now you will vote on it as a attendance area, I guess attendance area with it, right? I have it, it's going to be called Sister Schooling Proposal, and you just have like Exhibit A or whatever. It goes as vote to make sister schooling permanent practice in Pennridge School District. Permanent to you, unpermanent.
Okay. And this, the process, it says that once enrollment by school, by grade level, are within 5 of the maximum, all new enrollees will be given notification that they may be sent to a sister school.
Correct. And
So
that's
that's new from, that's something that you learned from the pilot?
well, we started this last year, because remember, we don't let new registrants happen other than kindergarten till May 1st. So by May 1st, we've already rolled up, the principals have let us know pretty much 99% of who's going to be able to move from grade 1 to 2. They have those kids on the bubble list that may be retained, so we have to watch those as well. We roll them all up so we have an idea of how many spaces are available in each one of the schools. This year, once we roll them up, we will move all the sister school kids into their proper buildings, so they actually are there. At that point, if there are 62 kids or 61 kids in grade 5 at a building, that's 3 sections, because we start out with what it is, because if they are our kids that roll up, we don't sister school our own that have been here. So, because we need to have space to move kids in when one building is shut. So you always have to have buildings that have room. So we do it that way. So we start, and once we give them 5, they get a letter. They may not need it, and one school ended up getting 15 more kids, so they got another section anyway, because we're not going to sister school 10 away from another building. That's unreasonable. So we just watch it and make a decision during the first week of August, which allows teachers to get ready, principals can assign rooms, they can keep grade levels together. Everyone likes it, and except for a few, and they understand it's finances as well as anything else.
Well, it's also the planning, like you said, of the rooms and such, because if you had to add something late in August and it sort of changes everything at the school. So.
You're right, it changes everything. You may lose a music room, you may have to move art somewhere so they can have a bigger room. So this protects the integrity of a lot of the programs, but especially it protects our class size.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So we'll have a vote on that. That is the end of the activities meeting. Are we just going to continue on and we do public comment at the end of all 3?
All 3. So we go to policy review.
I want to comment now.
I
think it's worthwhile having
A comment?
an opportunity for that.
Okay. All right, so we'll have public comment.
Robert Linden, West Brockton. I almost fainted. That's the first time in all the years that I've attended meetings that I ever heard a report of saving money. I want to thank Dr. Radigan for that, making that suggestion last year. And I hope I'm going to hear more reports like this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, Mr. Hemming, on to your
Well, let's
meeting.
see here. Let's